Buy you a million roses just to see your face glow. I love the fact.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lisa and this is Mindset Monday, where we talk about self-love, getting closer to God, and overall growth. So without further ado, let's get into it. I hope everybody is having an amazing week. Mine is going pretty good. It's only Tuesday. I don't know what day it is when you're watching this, but let me know how your week is going. And mentally, I am about I'm gonna say like an 8.5. It's only Tuesday, like I said, but I feel really good about the week. I am more productive. If you know, I have been on a fast, so no social media for me, just focusing on being more productive and getting things done. And so far so good. I don't have any complaints about that. I did have a little bit of a rough day this morning. Well, not a rough day. I'm gonna say a bit of a rough morning because I didn't get good sleep last night. So this morning I came in here after I dropped my son off at the bus stop. I came back home and slept on the couch, took a nap on the couch, and it was just like when I woke up from my nap, I kind of just wanted to lay there and just watch TV and not really want to do anything when I knew I had a whole bunch of stuff to get done today. But I did get myself out of that. I did give myself a little pep talk, tell myself like, look, we got to keep going. Like, this is only day 5. Is it day 5? This is day 6 for me on my fast. So I had to kind of tell myself like, this is only day 6. We have to keep going. We have to keep pushing, like, get up. Girl, you cannot lay around. We will not stay in the same mindset that we have been in. Change is really hard. Like, if you know, change is hard, baby. Making that change from being your old self into trying to reinvent yourself and become a better version of yourself is really hard. That's why a lot of people don't do it. So it's a challenge, but I'm up for it. I am getting it done, and it just makes me happier knowing that I was able to pull myself out of that and go get myself together and, you know, get my day started. Even though it was a little bit late when I got my day started, it was probably like 1 o'clock, 1:30ish when I started actually moving around, but I still have been able to be on time with everything that I had to do today so far. So I'm so proud of myself. I'm not going to beat myself up in this process because I know that this is a hard transition for me. So give yourself grace. You know, if you're going through the same thing, if you're trying to reinvent yourself, give yourself grace on those days that you want to just procrastinate or, you know, just want to be lazy. Give yourself grace. Talk to yourself. Pick yourself up, you know, keep motivating yourself to keep going forward, because at the end you will be so proud of yourself. But let's get into today's discussion. We're talking about self-love and healing from past traumas. And with that, I found a quote to go with today's conversation. So the quote is, and we're going to make this the quote of the week, y'all, okay? So the quote is, I am mine before I am anyone else's. And how that resonates with me is just that you really have to love yourself whole, you know, before you can love anyone else or before anyone can truly love you, for real, for real. So with that being said, let's jump into today's topics. Regard for one's own well-being and happiness. And for me, I just feel like that means taking time for yourself, taking time out of your everyday life just to care for yourself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Because if you're not at your all-time high, how can you give someone else 100% if you're not giving yourself 100%, you know? Which is something that a lot of us struggle with every day, even myself, because I know that I'm a real people pleaser, and I'm working on that. I'm currently working on that, but it's still kind of hard to say no to certain people, you know? Like recently, my granny was planning a family vacation, and, you know, she had all of us in a group chat together, and I was down for it, kinda. I was kind of down for it, and the reason why I was kind of in and out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because we've tried to plan family vacations before and it doesn't go far because of certain situations, I'll say. So it doesn't really go far. And this time it seemed like everybody was on the same page, but I myself was not really responding to the messages in the group chat, and not to be, disclaimer, sorry if you see the, obviously I'm in front of a ring light, so sorry if you see that. But back to what I was saying, I'm not trying to say that in a way of like, oh, I don't want to go. It was more so like, once y'all start, how about y'all plan it this time? Because usually me and my older brother, we're on top of it as far as looking for Airbnbs and looking for all of this type of stuff and putting together prices and, hey, this is how much this is going to be, this is how much we need to put in together to make sure that we have enough to cover everything. And then something happens and everybody just backs out of the trip. So this time, me and my brother were like, we just go, once y'all start talking numbers and telling us how much we need to send and what day we need to send it by, then we'll, have our input and let y'all know, okay, we got it, we'll send it this time, whatever. So I guess I had let my granny, I let my mom and my brothers know, like, hey, I have that group chat on silent. I go back and look at it every once in a while just to stay updated on everything that's going on. But I'm not really putting my input into it because how about y'all spend y'all time putting y'all input in trying to get it together, and then y'all let me know what we're supposed to do. But regardless, I ended up explaining that to my auntie. Well, not really explaining it to her. I just kind of told her like, hey, we were talking about, she asked me, how's the search going for an Airbnb? She asked me how the search was going for the Airbnb, and I'm like, oh, I'm not looking for an Airbnb. And she's like, why? I said, I honestly have that group chat on silent. And she's like, why? I was like, because I don't know, I'm not looking. Like that. I didn't really go into depth because I didn't feel like I needed to go into depth. But I guess she kind of felt some type of way about it. And so she waited until like my mom asked a question about something that had nothing to do with the trip to like say how she felt about my mom's kids not having their input on the trip, which my younger brother had his input. He was speaking for me and my older brother. He was speaking for all three of us. But she just kind of felt the need to say how she felt about like, oh, your kids aren't responding to the group chat and whatever. And it was very unprovoked. So I kind of was like taken back by it, like, what? Like, I was so confused because nobody asked about us. It had nothing to do with the trip when she said this. So it was like, okay. And she said it in a group chat, in a separate group chat. And then in the family group chat, she had something else to say about us not having our input and me having the messages on silent, unprovoked again. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going on this trip. I just kind of was like, I don't want to go on this trip and there's drama, there's like tension or whatever. Like, I don't want to deal with that. I'm in a space in my life where I just want overall peace, So I ended up letting my granny know, like, hey, I'm not gonna go on a trip. I love you guys, and I'll probably attend next time. And she was like, oh no, just think about it. Like, she didn't know why. I never told her why. I never went into depth about why. I think the only person that I told why was my mom and my younger brother. But everybody else, like, I just was kind of like, hey, I'm not going. I left the family group chat, and I was like, hey, I'm not going, because it kind of just rubbed me the wrong way. Like, I really just didn't understand what was the reason behind her saying what she said. But it was okay. I didn't take it to heart because it is what it is. But I did take myself out of the group chat and decided that I didn't want to go. And my granny was like, oh no, just think about it, you know. We still have time before we actually start paying for it, so just think about it or whatever. And usually I would be like, okay, because I don't want to hurt her feelings. I don't want her to, you know, feel like, you know, I just try not to hurt anybody's feelings. So I usually would have been like, okay, that's fine. You know what, I will still go. But I was like, no, I've made up my mind. Like, my decision is my decision. You know, I still love you guys. I just don't want to go on the family trip. And at first, I was kind of hesitant to send a message because, like I said, I'm a people pleaser. So I'm always like, I don't want her to feel no type of way. And it's okay to choose your peace over other people's feelings sometimes, because nobody wants to be miserable. And a lot of times we settle for being in uncomfortable situations trying to make other people happy, and they wouldn't do the same for us. But you know, I feel like being a people pleaser comes from childhood traumas, you know, feeling like you're not doing good enough for your parents. So you just kind of try harder to make them happy or do things that you know that they will acknowledge you for or appreciate you for. I can remember being younger and, you know, just trying not to disappoint my dad, because I felt like I had to, like, I feel like my dad was like superior. So don't disappoint him, you know, like do whatever you got to do to not disappoint your dad, which you're a kid, you're growing, you're learning, you know. And sometimes I also felt like my mom favored my brothers more than me, and it was probably like middle child syndrome, you know, a lot of people have it. But without knowing, that made me try to do more to get like their acknowledgement, or to at least feel accepted, I guess. And you know, I think that is why I rebelled on both of them. My mom and my dad got a divorce when I was like 7. So I lived with my mom and I lived with my dad at one point during my high school year. And at one point during my high school year, I rebelled on both of them. And I think it just came from, you know, years of feeling like you're not accepted or you're not good enough for the two people that, you know, you love the most. Like, you love them unconditionally. They're your parents. They brought you to this earth. And another disclaimer, I'm just sharing my story, but my parents are really good parents. Aside from, like, all of this aside, my parents are really good parents. I love my parents. We have a really good relationship. I'm just giving you guys my story of how, you know, it all correlates. But yeah, just feeling like you're not accepted, or feeling like, for me, feeling like I wasn't accepted and I wasn't good enough for them. And I felt like, fuck it. After a while, like, I just was kind of like, fuck it. And what even more probably made me say fuck it was because when I entered into high school, I was like 14. My granddad had passed. And my granddad, if you know, me and my granddad were like best friends. That was my dog. Like, he was literally at the time the only person that I felt really truly loved me unconditionally, and really truly, like, never caused me trauma, never was mean to me. Like, he was the only person that I felt like always had my back, was always there for me, you know. And so when he passed away, I was so young and I didn't know how to take it. Neither did I have anybody there to help me through the process. Like, I was kind of just left alone to go through this grieving process by myself. I had, before my granddad passed away, of course other people had passed away, but nobody was as close to me as my granddad, you know. So after he passed, it was like I just spiraled out of control. I felt like it was just me against the world. Like, I ain't got nobody cares about me, you know. And granted, nobody at the time, nobody had checked on me. Nobody was like, hey, let me make sure Lisa good in there. Like, you know, I just kind of was dealing with this grief all by myself. at 14, also having to get up and go to school every day, like any kid would fucking spiral. So I spiraled out of control, and that led to me like arguing with my dad a lot when I stayed with him, and with my mom, I just shut down on her, like shut her completely out. I shut down on everybody. And my mom would be like, oh, come in at a certain time or whatever. Me and my dad arguments was more so like school related, like you're gonna get, and he didn't understand what I was going through. Nobody understood what I was going through, because I guess nobody really thought that I took it as hard as I did. Like, I was literally depressed for years and didn't even know I was depressed, because if you know, like, the Black community, we don't speak on depression or anxiety or anything of those sorts. Like, growing up, that's not spoke upon. So when I was going through a depression, I didn't know that I was depressed. I just felt like, fuck it, like I barely even want to be here. Like, I'm just here at this point. Like, I don't have my backbone no more. Like, I have nobody. It's just me and me. Like, it's me against everybody right now. Like, nobody's on my side. Everybody is talking down on me. Like, it's just me. And I could have opened up more, but also my parents could have took that time to really try to see what was going on with me. And I know that they had their own lives going on, and parenting don't come with a handbook. So I have definitely forgiven them for this, and I have talked to both of them about how I felt. So I feel cool with talking about it on camera. But yeah, I was really just rebelling at that time, and it was simply because the one person who I did feel accepted by wasn't here no more. So the fuck am I doing here? Like, he left. Why you didn't take me with him is what the question was that I was feeling. And I think that's why I appreciate being a mom so much, because have y'all seen that meme that's like, it's so old. If I find it, I'll like put it somewhere on the screen. But it was kind of like, it's a picture, and there's God over here, and there's a little girl, and God is pretty much asking her to give him the small bear. She has a small bear in her hand, and behind his back is like a bigger bear, but she obviously can't see the bigger bear. And it just kind of is like, I'm gonna take this, but I'm gonna give you something better, but let me, you gotta give me this first, you know? That's kind of what happened in my situation. Like, for a long time after my granddad passed away, I felt like I said, I was by myself. I felt like nobody, that unconditional love that I felt with my granddad, that peace that I felt with my granddad, I didn't feel no more. It was like a void there, and I kind of was just here, you know, kind of just existing, because I didn't really feel like I had anything to live for at that point. At that time, yeah, for a long time, I just felt like I was just kind of here and just existing, but nobody ever knew that, because I played it off really good, I guess. And then when I was 19, I got pregnant with my son, and it made me like, okay, we gotta get it. Like, you know, we have somebody to live for. And I think now, like, my kids are literally my peace. Like, even when I'm overstimulated by them, even when I'm overstimulated, I'm probably going through something, I might be a little depressed or whatever, I can just go around my kids, just be around my kids, and feel that sense of peace, knowing that these two, it's like God gifted me two little humans that love me unconditionally, and I know for a fact that they love me unconditionally, you know? But at the time when he took my granddad, it was like, well, what'd you do that for? But now, me being older, and I have two kids of my own, and I feel that sense of peace again. I feel that sense of unconditional love. I know that my parents love me unconditionally. I just didn't feel that from nobody but my granddad. I feel like God just gifted me them to give me back that love, you know, give me back that sense of peace that I have been missing for so many years. Also, during that time, well, it wasn't until after I had my child, but after I had my child, my son, I had to go on this healing journey because for a while, I would tell people, I would be lying to myself, lying to everybody else, like, oh, I'm okay, like, yep, I'm good, da da da. But deep down inside, I knew that I wasn't good. I knew that I had so much trauma weighing on me that I had to heal from in order to grow. You know, trauma can hinder us. It can make us miserable. It can make us feel like we're boxed in, we're stagnant, you know, and until we face those traumas head on and really get to the root of the issue and really dig deep to, you know, heal from it, you're gonna be fucked up forever. And I'm just being honest. Like, you're never gonna be able to be your authentic self with all of this trauma weighing on you. And a lot of times, a lot of people would rather run from their problems, would rather run from their traumas and just sweep it under the rug because it's easier to do other than dealing with your traumas. It's hard to deal with your traumas. It's a lot of crying, a lot of confusion, a lot of anger built up, you know, in there. So sometimes you just have to sit with yourself. And I had to go on this whole healing journey. And that's when I talked to both of my parents separately, obviously. And I just kind of expressed to them how I felt and the things that I went through, because it gave me that peace of knowing like I was able to get it off my chest. And thankfully I have amazing parents, and they didn't shut me down or be like, oh girl, you'll be okay. And you know, they really listened and gave me feedback and stuff like that. And not all the time we're gonna agree with our parents, not all the time we're gonna be on the same page, but at the end of the day, we were able to agree or agree to disagree, you know. And as long as that agreement is there and that respect is there, I love that my parents respect me and respect my opinions about things, because they know that I'm very outspoken. So I'm gonna tell you how I feel. But I really do appreciate my parents for, you know, being open to having those discussions with me and letting me know their POV. I let them know my POV, and you know, it helped me heal. It helped me move on from those things. And I had to heal from other stuff too, aside from my parents. But that was really like the groundwork, because your childhood traumas is the beginning and it go from there. It's traumatic all through life, but at least deal with your childhood traumas first and, you know, get past that if you can with your parents. You know, there's a saying that goes, you are who you attract. And some people may not agree with it. I personally agree with it because it's real. Like, you attract who you align yourself with. You attract the people that you align with and that you vibrate on the same frequency with, you know. So if you feel like you just attracting, and that goes relationships, friendships, obviously we can't pick who we are related to, but you can drop them motherfuckers off. I'm just saying, I don't mind dropping a family member, because baby, you're not gonna come up in here and disturb my peace. But definitely for relationships and friendships, if you feel like your friend group is horrible, or your friend group is not motivated, or they're not doing the things that you want to do, reposition yourself, reinvent yourself. If you want to attract different people relationship wise, or attract different people friendship wise, you have to work on yourself. You have to be that person for yourself, because everybody that comes into your life is a different version of you, whether you know it or not. Everybody that comes into your life is a different version of you. So if you don't like the type of people that's being attracted into your life, change the way that you are, change the way that you think, change the way that you move. You know, be that different person. Love yourself, heal yourself, and work on yourself in order to attract that different group of people. If you don't like where you are right now and who is around you, your circle of friends or your boyfriend, your girlfriend. If you don't like where you are in life, you gotta work on yourself, you know? And that goes back to self-love, you know, where we started the video off. Y'all see how I did that? Full circle moment. Yeah. Cause it's all connected at the end of the day. It is all connected, baby. So by doing that work to heal from your past traumas and pour into yourself, give yourself 100%, you can become that better person to attract better people into your life. And that goes back to the quote of the week, baby, because I am mine before I am anyone else's. And with that being said, I'm gonna stop rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, comment down below how you feel. Give me your thoughts. I'm gonna be reading. And subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel, because there will be plenty more content like this that I will be posting on my channel. I love each and every one of you, and I hope to see you in my next video.
Found some real and rare, ain't think they made both. Fantasize, I'm trying to grant all of your wishes, babe. You can tell me it's only me, I see it in your face. And you smile, don't say you down if you ain't really down. Come around when you quit the circus, I ain't for the clown.